And then lastly, we've got the bulbous. This, I think, is the hardest one to do really well. So again, in the class, make sure you're watching this so you can see. For the bulbous, thumb goes in. Remember with the straight up, we pinched it around. With the flare, we bent it. For the bulbous, try to make that opening of just your thumb not become any wider. If it becomes wider, it's kind of like if you have like a nice sweater and the neck gets stretched out. You can't really bring it back in once it gets stretched out. So it's harder because for the bulbous, remember, we want it to be narrow at the opening, then big in the middle, and then narrow at the bottom. So what we do here is hold it sideways, making sure I don't move my thumb around too much because that will make the opening bigger. Just grab your fingers and pinch down because we're creating that natural tapered surface at the opening. So you can see that, right? Now we go to the bottom here. And I'm gonna push down with my hands because I'm trying to create that shape of the bulbous form before I do too much else. So now just looking at it like this, you can see it kind of has the basic shape. At this point, sideways again, it's very thick in the middle. So I'm gonna push up with my thumb. I'm kind of supporting with my left hand at the bottom here, pushing up with my thumb, thinning it down, which is gonna bulge it out even more in the middle, which is what we want. Kind of making a pass all the way around. And at this point, the pinching motion I'm gonna do is like this. I'm gonna just keep my hand moving that way. So I start at the opening here, grab it, I'm pinching, I'm going here. I'm using my sense of touch too to feel for thickness. Where it's thicker, I'll pinch a little bit more. And I'm just kind of doing that. Rotate and keep going. Just like the flare, we wanted that nice straight diagonal. On the bulbous, we want a nice, like symmetrically curved arch like that. So nothing that's too abrupt, just a nice rolling arch. At some point for this one, just like the flare, you got to push it down on the table as well and kind of define that bottom. Just by pushing a little bit with your thumb on the inside when it's sitting on the table, it will give you a flatter, stable foot. So just keep manipulating with your hands, pinching, moving it in that direction. And the thing with the bulbous that you want to ask yourself as you're working and feeling like you're getting closer to the end would be keep track of that opening, make sure it doesn't get too wide because then it won't taper in as much. And then the other part is where does it bulge out the most? Because when people are beginning with bulbous, sometimes it kind of bulges out a lot towards the bottom and then tapers in, and it ends up looking kind of like a Hershey kiss, which is not what we're going for. We want a nice even form like that. So that's the idea here. Just kind of like that, back and forth, back and forth. And then it's all, again, just that meticulous attention to detail, craftsmanship to get the surface as perfect as possible. And you're looking for that correct thickness, even thickness, stable foot, smooth surface, and the fact that it looks just like the form that we're going for. So that's the idea for the 3 different pinch pots that you'll need to make. And remember, this assignment is make 2 of each of those forms for 6 total using the red clay 3 times and the white clay 3 times. So those are the basic requirements. In the end, if you make like one straight up that you just hate and you're embarrassed by, but another straight up that you think is pretty good, that's all you need. Because while you have to make all of the requirements that I mentioned, all you need is one good version of each. That's what I critically look at to grade for craftsmanship and all that other stuff. So if you know you have like some really bad flares and some really bad bulbouses, but at least one good one of each, you're all set. That's what you have to do on this assignment. You can certainly make more than 6. The 20th pinch pot you make is going to be better than your 6th. So don't hesitate to make more.